Welcome to the David Bradley Show with your host, David Bradley.
We're still doing Halloween stuff. I hope y'all were enjoying these shows. They've been kind of exciting for me, and I know the first one just dropped on the 2nd, and this one we're actually recording just a few days early, and we're going to drop this one on, what did I say I was going to drop this one on? I can't even remember now, and I've lost my phone. Your cat stole my phone. My daughter's filling in today because Julie is not here, so you'll hear me hollering for Anna a lot. Anyway, y'all, look, I've seen some stuff, and Anna actually has helped me a lot on a couple of these shows. She got Jordan Cook for me, which was an awesome interview. I'm sure y'all have seen it. And now we've got something I just find really, really fascinating, because Anna showed me the video of these two next guests, and I was just totally enthralled with what they did on this stage. I mean, it was just cool as hell, and it's got a little spooky motif to it, and it's just, I thought it was fabulous. So we're going to sit down and we're going to talk to Jupitar and Salem. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Man, was it a long drive?
It's about an hour, so it's not too bad for us. We've done longer.
I will say, yeah, we've driven a lot longer for other gigs and stuff, so an hour is absolutely nothing to us.
Yeah, because y'all perform just about anywhere, right?
Anywhere and everywhere. Anywhere that wants to reach out, anywhere that wants to talk to us. Yeah.
Cool. I like that. So how did you get the idea for the whole spooky motif type thing? Or are you just naturally spooky?
I think we both definitely are very naturally spooky, but I think both of us came at it from a different angle. I think for me, it was more, I've always had like a fascination with the beautiful side about like spooky stuff, like the way that people would be scared of the nighttime and scared of the dark, but yet there's also like the beautifulness of the moon and the mysteriousness of the fog at night. And that's where I think a lot of my character came from, along with just growing up in a background of very alternative lifestyle. I grew up in a tattoo shop in Knoxville where my mom worked. And so being at conventions, they tended to also coincide with like the horror convention. So I was always around it. I'm genuinely usually terrified by a lot of scary stuff. But I tried to always embrace the beautiful side of it, because clearly there's some reason that people are so enthralled about it. He, on the other hand, is a different story.
Yeah. I grew up along the same lines, just I guess without all the sweet shit.
No tattoo shop.
No.
Man.
I always had an interest in body modifications and tattoos since I was young, but like I've always been into horror for the most part. Actually, from the time that I was young until I was probably like 13, 14. So probably right around the time like my first puberty. I was like super scared of everything.
Yeah.
I did not like a lot of things. I was anxiety riddled. I was scared of literally anything and everything.
See, if mom had thrown you in a tattoo shop all those years ago.
So my mom actually ended up just, so my biological mother, he used to fall asleep to forensic files, so that helped a lot. I've always had a very big fascination in like serial killers and documentaries and things along those lines. The more horror aspect of it came from I've got a cousin that raised me basically for the most part,
right?
And she used to fall asleep to things like Dead Silence and Halloween, and she'd put it on and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch this together. It'll be all right. I'll hold your hand through it," and then immediately fall asleep like 15 minutes in. So it was left to me to finish the entire movie. So it's kind of where that came from. And then, I started working in haunted houses when I was 15. So
awesome. I did too. My first, it was down on Dickerson Road, way past, if you're going back towards Nashville where Beast House is right now, it was over on the left. And what's there now is like a truck topper shop. But back when I was 15, it was just a warehouse right there. And they turned it into a haunted house.
Is that Death Row?
No. It was one of those no-name mom and pop's pop-ups,
Oh, That's good.
It was only one season, you know.
That
And you got to
me.
remember, I was 15 then.
Yeah.
I'm like old as dirt now. So
I was about to say, because if it was Death Row, that was the first one that I ever worked at, the big industrial warehouse out in Antioch. That was the first one that I ever worked at when I was 15. And then I worked for Zombie Talks in Manhattan, Kansas. And then I finished up in Nashville at various other haunts.
I've only ever gotten to do one. It was a one night situation where my aunt was doing makeup in Wartrace, Tennessee at the Walking Horse Hotel because they turned it into a haunted attraction every Halloween. And
yeah. Well, see, I kind of like when I was Home Improvement, Tim Allen, you know how they always turned like a little haunted house in. I always wanted to do that, but I don't know. I never could. It cost too much damn money.
Right. Oh yeah. You want to do it so bad, then you realize one animatronic's like $1,800, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, not going to do it. I mean, that one is actually a gift. Well, all this stuff up here that you see, except for the Iron Maiden mask. Anna and her boyfriend decorated my set for me.
I told you, that's the perks of working in Spirit of Halloween, ain't it? That's why I can't walk in there, because that haunted mansion.
Well, I mean, you know, all that designer stuff she does there, she brung it home with her. Not the stuff, but, you know, the designer flair to it.
The know-how.
And she was just like, I got you, Dad. I got you. And, you know, she hooked it up pretty good for me. So that was awesome.
I love that. That's currently her, because we just moved into our house in Clarksville. And so she's up there decorating everything. Everything has a specific space.
Oh, you got the spooky going on?
I do. My house is very much like that year round. I have like the iron bats. I've got like tattoo artwork, like again, the tattoo shop stuff where they always have like the very cluttered, but everything fits together gallery walls. That's like how I have to have mine. And I'm like, everything has a place. It must be exactly like this or I will scream. And so he's just like, you know what, babe, I'm gonna just sit back right here and I'm gonna let you do what you need to do.
Here's the measuring tape.
I decorated one bathroom, and that's because I was like, look, I have to have one bathroom that is dedicated to Haunted Mansion. That is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I was like, there's one space that has to be dedicated to it. And she was like, here, you can have the second bathroom. And I was like, great, wonderful. Everything else is up to you. Have fun.
Now I'm trying to remember if did I see Haunted Mansion?
There's the first one, and then there's the new one that came out.
I haven't seen the new one. Wasn't there another one with like Eddie Murphy or something?
Eddie Murphy's the original.
I've seen that one.
That's the original one. That one is my favorite.
I love that one. It was funny as all get out.
Like I said, I'm terrified of so much. So like the first time I watched it, it was literally because he was like peer pressuring me. He's like, you've got to try it. So it was before we got together, and I just remember sending him videos of myself, and I couldn't tell if I was laughing hysterically or crying hysterically because I was so scared of these dang zombies coming up and grabbing these kids in the mausoleum. But I was also laughing because I'm like, this is a literal children's movie. Why are you crying?
I know, right?
And now the new one, I love it. I think it's amazing.
I have to see it. We'll
It's
have to
so
see the
good.
new one.
They did go a little in on that first one, though, in terms of like fear and it being a kid's movie. Like when he looks down and he looks into the mirror, like,
yeah,
that was a lot for a children's movie.
Dude, they're pushing the envelope on a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
they are. I like though that this new one though is they focused more on like including lore from the rides around both like all the Disney worlds and stuff. So they had the actual Haunted Mansion was the Los Angeles ride, which was really cool. And I wouldn't have known any of this stuff if it weren't for him. He's the expert. So he kind of taught me, and we're in the theater. I'm like, oh, look, I know what that is. And he's just sitting there like, yes, please shut up. Like,
It was cute to watch, though.
Oh, I'd love it. Where's that at?
Disney. So the original one is.
I'm trying to think.
The original one is in not Los Angeles, just
Anaheim.
Anaheim, yeah, Anaheim, California, and then the second one for the United States is in Florida.
yeah, it's in Florida for
Yeah, I know that one's in Florida and
And
Orlando. And the
there's-
other one, I was trying to place the city because I used to drive truck and I was out there all the time, and I've actually passed it several times, but we never had time to go in over there.
Well, they put one in Tokyo's Disneyland, and they wanted to have a completely different story, so it doesn't even follow along with anything in either of the movies now because they wanted it to be like a museum that's haunted instead, and it be a playful, spooky experience.
That was a night in museum. I mean, you know.
It is like that a little bit. It's really cute though because
So
they
they're
have
like-
like all the ghost objects floating around and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So they're kind of like meshing it all together.
Yeah,
I
when it-
don't know.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to make it to where it's like, oh, well, this is what you could be riding there, but we want to give you guys something special here.
The original one is definitely still my favorite. I don't, hands down, like that one will forever be. That is when I think of Haunted Mansion. That is what I think of. But the second one, it wasn't bad for what they tried to do. Like if you're a fan of the ride, like you can definitely get into the movie.
I've never been to Disney World. Shut up, Anna.
I took her one time, and she actually got on the Haunted Mansion. I was surprised.
No, I didn't. That
Yeah, you
wasn't
did.
me.
Yeah,
I
you
did
did.
not get on that with you. I sat outside with my Dole Whip, and I got forced on when I was a younger kid, and I cried.
You went on with us because when the Doom buggies turn around and we go down the hill, you were scared of that part, and we held your hand.
I think you're thinking of the dinosaur ride where I also screamed and cried because they put me, we've been best friends for like 7 years at this point, but together for almost 2. And he was with his ex at the time. And they're like, hey, we're not going to have you get on any rides that you're afraid of. Cause I have a blood disease. So I can't get on anything where the G-force is too harsh because my blood pressure will spike and I'll pass out.
Right.
And, they're like, no, it's fine. This isn't a roller coaster. It's literally like riding in a Jeep. You can sit next to his ex at the time. No one told me that this girl is deathly afraid of dinosaurs. So I'm sitting there and she's screaming bloody murder, which makes me scream because I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, why are you screaming? And she's screaming. And the joke has been so far that the pictures that they take at the end of the ride is just I'm crying. His ex is crying, and everyone in this Jeep is so red in the face, laughing at us.
There's groups in the back 2 rows that don't even know us that are like dying laughing.
Coming up to us in the gift shop, did you see your face in these photos? That's hilarious.
It's
I'm
like 8-year-old child is like, you were so scared.
got called out at Disney.
That's funny as I'll get out. I love that. Man, see what we missed? We didn't get to go to Disney.
It's never too late.
Let's do it.
Y'all paying?
I mean, my birthday is coming up, so
Go down there with all the Christmas shit.
I like Christmas.
I'm a December baby. I feel like if you are a December baby, you either love Christmas or you don't. There's been many a birthday forgotten about.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if you grew up more in like well-to-do, then you would have like Christmas presents, then you'd have like the same amount or more.
Oh, it was very
birthday
much
presents.
It was very much, hey, you can either get some like medium to small stuff on your birthday and Christmas, or if there's something big that you want, you can go ahead and do the big thing. And I grew up really big into like anime and cosplay. So I was like, oh, are you telling me I could get these 2 like $300 costumes? So that was nice. But there's definitely a lot of times when family would come into town and it would be like, oh, well, they don't want to come down for your birthday and Christmas. So we're going to do everything at once. And then like my birthday cake would get freezer burnt, like just because I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, now dinner's done. Can we light the candles? And they're like, shh, Salem, shh. And then they leave, and I'm like, it's fine. I didn't want to turn 18 anyway. It's okay. I've definitely grown to like Christmas a little bit more now that I have someone that does not forget my birthday around.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, then there was me who was born in August, and I'm like, like I'm not like one of those people that hates Christmas, but I'm also gay, so I've heard All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Mariah Carey unthaws every November.
Many times. Like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
many times.
I seen it on Facebook, and somebody had posted like a meme that said they just rolled Mariah Carey out. Careful, Christmas is around the corner.
And it's fine.
She's
to-
defrosting.
It's fine to see it like that, but when you have to go to work and like watch queens perform that number, and you can't go anywhere. You're
Yeah.
backstage. Like you can't run off.
No.
You can't disappear. Like sometimes you're the one that comes after that or before that. Like you have no way to escape it. So you
Yeah.
have to sit there and listen, and you're like, I know what she's doing. She's up there with a fake microphone just spinning in circles.
Yeah.
That's all she's doing.
That's one thing I liked about oh God, what was the name of that movie? Okay, Anna, this is where you step up. Christina, Cher,
Burlesque.
Burlesque.
Oh God, don't
Yes.
get Jupi started.
No,
Burlesque.
I love Burlesque. I think it's awesome. But the thing that always made me mad was in the first part of burlesque, they're all lip syncing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically our job.
And then Christina steps in and like, just, you know, hey, let her go, you know?
Yeah.
And it was so much better,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what, I don't know. I'm just, cause all my years in live music and everything, you know, I always liked it when people actually performed what they were singing.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap if you sound like Mariah Carey or not.
Yeah.
I want to hear you.
And that's really funny, like to come from I can't say that word.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
A musician standpoint. It's really funny to come from a musician standpoint because on the drag side of things, like when we see somebody sign up, like we don't knock all types of drag is valid. Any
Right.
form of drag is valid. Anything you do in drag is valid. Drag is meant to be a show. It's meant to be entertaining. It's how you show your art.
Exactly.
And there are people in the drag world that do like sing and stuff, but like when we get to a competition or a pageant or like it's just a show in general, and somebody has put it there live singing, we all just kind of go.
You just kind of feel your gut drop out your butt, and you're like, oh, this is either going to go really good or really bad. Which, because I mean, I understand your standpoint. My dad's a musician, so I grew up with it. And when I talk to him about drag, he can only see the prospect of, oh, well, yeah, live everything. Like, so he doesn't fully get it. So now that he's been able to come to a few shows when we're in Knoxville, he has a better understanding. But he's like, Brooklyn or Salem, you know, real name's Brooklyn, but you know, he's like, you know, Brooklyn, I just don't understand. You can sing. Why don't you? And I'm like, no. Because a lot of these places aren't equipped for live music.
Right.
Plus, like when people come to see drag, they want to see these extravagant outfits or like a big physical performance. And if you're really gonna, unless you're Beyonce Knowles, God bless her, you know, or anyone like that that's been professionally trained to move like that and be able to have that breath control at the same time, you will have me gasping, asthma. I will be flat and sharp, and it will be awful. You can't really move around a lot when you're singing in those situations.
Well, I mean, it's the singers. A lot of them, I mean, they're working out. They're hitting the gym. They're hitting the treadmills.
Couldn't be me.
Jogging. And that just, you know, builds up your endurance. But once you get that endurance built up, it's nothing to run across the stage, stop, sing, run back across the stage. You know, it's hardly anything.
And there's some people that do it really, really well. Like there's people in drag that are like trained in opera and do opera while in drag and stuff. And like, it's absolutely incredible to watch. It's absolutely amazing. But like I would say probably 95% of the time when people that do drag see people sign up and do live vocals, we all just kind of hold our breath because a lot of these places weren't built like Salem said, like they don't have the equipment or the stage itself was not built.
You don't have any like speakers facing you to hear yourself.
You don't have that. You don't have the acoustics that go out into the audience. Like a lot of these mics, like they crack and they snap and like all kinds of stuff.
You can't walk too far out on a stage that you're not under a speaker, and then you start getting that feedback, and it's deafening.
Where it screams.
Well, I figured they have wedges or something because, you know, if you're lip syncing, you got to be able to hear what the heck you're mouthing to, you know.
So they blast it. They definitely blast
They
it.
turn it up. You can hear, so like when it comes to like audio proofing and stuff, you can hear the music a lot better when people go to play like their like karaoke versions or they get on stage with an instrument or whatever. Like that's when you can tell it was not, a lot of these venues were not built to like be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like our experience at a bar that we were at for about 8 years for me, like our home bar, where we used to work. It's very like when you're on stage, even when everything's turned up really loud and you're lip syncing, it still kind of sounds quiet to you. But if you're out in the audience, you are getting blasted. Your cheeks are like flapping back behind your head like cartoons. They are blasting this music, but it's not that loud on stage because they don't have it facing you.
Yeah, see, and that amazes me because, I mean, it looks like they would have some kind of audio engineer come in there and set it up to where it's, you know, at least a good experience for everybody.
You would think that way too, especially because a lot of these bars, we have pageantry and drag too as well. Salem and I are actually the current reigning. I'm the current reigning Mr. Upper Cumberland and Mr. Nashville Gay Pride 2023.
Awesome.
Salem is the reigning MX Nashville Gay Pride for 2023, and
Congratulations.
Thank you.
both
I'm
of
also
you.
the first one to ever exist. They made the category so people like me could compete.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you in the same thing then.
But
Yeah.
Well, different areas.
but the bar, even like I said, the bar that we competed in for that pageant, like there were people that live singed for. There's a talent portion of the pageantry system.
Right.
And whatever pageant you apply for, you go out for, 99% of the time they're gonna have a talent category.
Right.
99% of the time, people that sing are going to try to live sing, and I don't know. It's like you're gonna take that gamble and that risk to live sing during a pageant, anyways. But like, I feel like your venue should be equipped, because that's gonna hinder things a little bit. Like that's unseen forces that you can't deal with.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the part where it's a little bit weird with a lot of venues, because most of the places where drag shows take place, I can't even give a percentage, but most of them, they are not really built with the idea of having that in mind. So, I mean, where we used to work, it is a gay bar. They intended to have drag, so they built this really nice big stage in, but like they don't expect live music, so they didn't build for it. They
What about
built
lighting?
lighting. Yeah, he actually used to do lighting for there. So like they have really nice lighting. It's and lasers. It's really, really cool. But you get a lot of venues like where we're currently on cast at. It's a restaurant that they just turned into a gay bar so that they could focus more on that. So they built a little stage, but it's a lot of us dancing on the floor, walking throughout people. They have a spotlight that's person controlled, which is very, very bright and very, very in your face.
Oh, I can
So
imagine.
It's a lot of American Ninja Warrior, really, with a lot of the places we end up, because you never really, if you've never been there before, you don't know what you're walking into, what you're expecting. Are you going to get a stage, or are you performing on a floor, walking throughout people? We've had outdoor situations where we're literally on pavement at like a 15% grade, and you're just like, oh God, I really hope I don't fall over in these heels on this asphalt. That would suck.
Yeah, because
So-
you're rolling through the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much just kind of like you have to accommodate for yourself as the performer. It's very much becomes up to you to get yourself prepared for whatever kind of venue you're at. That's where it's a little hard for places that know that they're going to be hosting these kind of events, and this is something that they plan on as they build and they own their buildings. Like, maybe it would be a good idea to update a little bit.
Well, especially the sound system. I mean, see, that was the whole reason I wanted you on here for, is because I concentrate more on the talent, the artistic nature of things.
Yeah.
And I love what Anna showed me about that whole little dance thing y'all did.
I don't even remember what I sent Anna, to be honest.
See?
I'm like, what did I even
He's mentioned
send?
this video like 3 times, and I'm scared to know what you showed him.
Well, I mean-
Whatever would fit in the email. I don't remember what I sent.
But anyway, I mean, it was just the performance of it,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where, okay, I got a soft heart for, like, you know, burlesque and Moulin Rouge. I love those movies.
Favorites.
Me and Anna, when she was younger and I was a lot younger, we would sit and watch Moulin Rouge.
Oh, the goal is to do a duet to come what may at any point of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was handling the guy parts. She was handling the girl parts. And it was awesome. I loved it. That is one of my fondest memories with her.
I love it.
And it's just,
That's also
A
a very
lot
big
of-
inspiration for my stuff, too. That's where I
Yeah.
love it. Absolutely.
yeah. But see, a lot of people look down on certain groups of people. And I think you need to move past that. You need to look at the artistic nature of it. Everybody has a passion. They have a drive. They have something that they're absolutely fantastic at. And that's what I'm trying to do. I want people to get out of their proverbial little, you know, corner of the couch and all that other stuff. If you got something you can do and you're passionate about it and you love it, get your ass out there and do it.
Yeah.
Life's too freaking short. And that's what I loved about that performance, because you could see y'all were in time with each other. Y'all have practiced this. This is something you love. and both of you were kind of laughing and carrying on. And
I think I know what it was. It was the yellow dress, wasn't it?
no,
What was it, Anna? What video was it us together? Oh my gosh. I feel like I remember trying to add that one because ironically enough, like we don't practice.
I'll clear up one thing right now. We don't practice.
We don't practice.
you don't practice at all. It looked like y'all really practiced.
There's literally only, I think, maybe one number that we've done that we genuinely have like a set way that we do it, and that's when we do Morticia and Gomez.
And we didn't even practice that. We literally talked about it in the car on the way to the bar, and we were like, okay, that's what we're gonna do.
I don't know. I just feel like the more you personally, in my experience, the more you like try to focus on choreographing it, the more when you get up there, you're going to get in your head about, oh, I have to do this next and this next, instead of just letting it flow organically.
I'm big about telling people, get out of your freaking head.
I have the memory of a guppy, so like less choreography is better for me. I will fail every single time to try to remember choreography. But if you say, hey, just go up here, do this number, like just do this song.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do during it, just do this song. I'm fine. But if you're like, hey, do this song with this choreography, nope.
Yep.
Nope. Because my brain is going to try to fix it. It's going to try to do what it wants to do.
Look, it took my dad. It took my dad a month and a half, almost 2 months, to teach me the Cowboy Shot Us. And Cowboy Cha Cha and Sweetheart Shot Us. See, I get even the names mixed up. You know, it took him almost 2 months to teach me how to do that. And then the first time I did it, it was with this cute little girl, and she wouldn't dance with me anymore after that because she said I almost pulled her arm out of socket. That one.
Oh my God. That's the first time we had ever performed together, actually.
That's the first time.
See, I love that right there.
We had
Look.
never.
That's the song we normally do to
That was her birthday.
Gomez Adams. That was his birthday. That was his birthday right before we got together. That was 2 years ago.
That was my 23rd birthday. We had never performed together, but we had always talked about doing this song.
And he was like, listen, for my birthday, this is all I want. And I'm like, okay.
That's when I called you in the car and I was like, hey, this is what I want to do for my birthday. And you were like, well, let me see if I have a black dress because I don't know if I have anything black. And you had the black
all I
dress.
own is black.
You had the black dress, but you didn't have the black hair.
Yeah.
That's why you're in blonde hair.
Oh, yeah. No, we had never done that before, never performed together. It was just like, okay, let's do it. There's even a part on there at the very end where he had his foot on my dress and he goes to stand and he about slips and busts his ass. But he just was so tickled that it even happened.
I know. I had suspenders on and I had bent down and my suspender went around. I had like dress shoes on, and platforms on the bottom of it, and the suspender hooked around the bottom of the platform. And when I stood up, it got caught on the suspender, and the suspenders, they have like little buttons on them. They didn't just unsnap. They stayed tight into my pants, and my pants were coming down and I was coming down with them. Like, I was like, oh God, hang on, wait a minute. Yeah, no, I love that. That's one of my favorite performances that I've ever done, though, hands down.
I liked it. I really did.
That is one of my favorite things that we've ever done. And then when we did it again, we have it where it's still Black Wedding by In This Moment, but we put the intro as the Addams Family intro.
Awesome.
Like the old original Addams Family intro.
Da-da-da-dum.
Yep. And then it has her speaking French. And then he starts kissing up her arm and the music starts.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger and she spoke French and he come immediately back with Catamia.
Mon cher.
Ah.
Carolyn Jones was hot as Morticia. I don't care what anyone says. There's not a woman that's played Morticia that I've not been like, damn, she's hot.
Listen,
You know, who was that last one that played her?
Oh,
I can't remember her name.
Catherine Zeta-Jones in Wednesday. And then Angelica Huston played her in the movies.
Yeah, Angelica, that was the one that I seen.
Stunning.
She was gorgeous.
she's the
And I would put her right under Morticia.
yeah.
Right under
Carolyn Jones.
Carolyn Jones.
Yeah.
But Carolyn Jones, I wanted to marry her. I mean,
Carolyn Jones is
The original like TV series, black and white.
yeah.
I just love when Angelica played her. Like they gave her that film noir. Like everything about her like had like this light shadow, except for like the light right across her eyes. Just
Angelica will
Chef's kiss.
always
Oh, it's perfect.
she'll always be my favorite Morticia, and just like Raul will always be my favorite Gomez for hands down. But I did cry a little bit when she popped up on Wednesday. I was like,
I don't know how I feel about that new Wednesday program they've got.
I enjoyed it. I don't know. I like that they really have been trying to bring it back, but still like
It's not the same.
it's not the same, but I think that's the beauty of it is if they kept trying to do it the same, like same thing with like the Haunted Mansion movie. Yeah. He definitely still likes the original, but I love the fact that they were like, well, if we're going to do it again, we already did it this way. Why would we do it the same way? Let's change it up. Like the same way people get mad at the other live action Disney movies. Like, well, are you really going to pay to watch the same story over and over and over again?
Well, I mean, the only thing really I liked about the new one that Wednesday did is that dance she done. It's like everybody's freaking doing it.
Yes. Well, because it was Susie Sue and the Banshees that like she took actual like goth like club dancing and put it in there so it was authentic.
And I get that, but like that's what gets me about it. Like I don't think it was bad by any means. Like I genuinely enjoyed Wednesday, but like the parts that everybody blew up were very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, "Oh my god, the Goo Goo Muck is the best part of this entire
My damage
series."
is everyone was so happy about it, and it's like, where was this like happiness and overjoy when it was actually happening?
Yeah, because you same age as Anna?
I don't know. Am I same age as Anna? I'll be 27 on December 2nd.
No, Anna's a little bit older than you. Because Anna went through that whole, and I was like, it's just a phase. Hell no, it ain't.
No.
Just look at my set.
She buried that.
This is stuff she had in her closet.
Yeah.
If your little girl starts liking Wednesday Addams at any point in time, like she's gonna like horror. She's gonna like horror when she grows up.
I think my mom thought it was a phase too, and then she's shocked, like as if she didn't raise me in that tattoo environment, like that was all there ever was. And then it's like, what do you mean you got tattoos, Brooklyn? You're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, you got 23 and you raised me in that, so like this is on you.
Well, I mean, Anna grew up in MySpace, Vampire Freaks.
Yes.
Wasn't you even an administrator in Vampire Freaks?
No, we just ran a bunch of beauty cults because we were stuck up bitches.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She handled the suck up bitches.
I love that.
This is why we're friends.
Man. But yeah. There anywhere in Nashville y'all play?
Oh, that we perform at?
Yeah.
So we got our start at Play Nashville. That's our, technically that was our home bar. We performed there. For me, it was 8 years. For him, it was...
It'll be October 13th of this year.
Yeah.
Now we have branched further out of Nashville. My hometown is Knoxville. That's where I was born and raised. So we got opportunities out there. So now we're out there regularly.
Yeah.
We are on a cast in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We actually run the open stage out there to bring out new entertainers. And then this past year, a few of my entertainer friends that are more national, they're like, hey, you really ought to apply in Austin, Texas. They have a festival where they fly people in like out of country to come and everyone congregate, perform, meet each other, network. And out of over 300 applicants, I got put in, and then they ended up grabbing Jupitar last minute as well. And they were like, hey, we really would love to see you come out here and do it. So we got to go to Austin, which was our first time really going that far for drag. And we got to meet a bunch of amazing entertainers, be it they were on television. Like there was girls from Dragula, which is an alternative to RuPaul's Drag Race. It's run by these two amazingly, just hauntingly beautiful beings. And they wanted to create a competition where the macabre was celebrated and really put on a platform. So you've got that kind of drag. You've got campy side where it's all like goofy and silly and it's meant to be really over the top and kitschy. And then you do have the more like glamorous side, but everyone came together, be it that they were like boys that do drag as girls, girls that do drag as girls, you know, every make of drag was there. And I swear, every time I talk about it, I tell people it's drag summer camp. And it just opened up a lot more doors where we have, we've yet to plan any trips, but we've got people like in California and Colorado and Florida.
Got a friend in Canada. Actually, he lives in Vancouver. His name is Heathen that I would love to see again. I would love to go.
All of these people. I mean, even in Chicago, they're planning a possible reunion of hey, if you can get out to the Midwest and I had a reunion show, who'd want to come? Like, and everyone's just like, if you can get out here like if you can come to Colorado or if you can come to California or Canada or Florida or wherever, we can hook you up with bookings if you can make it out here. And we're just like, oh boy. So we're just waiting for the next summer camp, but we're everywhere that people will let us be.
Okay. Anna is not babysitting your 9 cats. I'm telling you,
No.
it's not happening.
We got babysitters. we got a couple of people that we know that would love to come and get some love-ins, but
see, that's, you know, the whole thing is, I think a lot of people are missing out on a lot of great shows just because they got a stigmatism about something.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like I know Salem feels this a lot, but I definitely feel this a lot more as a king and stuff. Shows where it's an all queen cast.
Yeah.
Shows where you don't see drag kings included, because that's what I am. I do drag as I'm a trans man. I'm an out and proud trans man. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Right.
And I do drag as a man. I don't do like big boobies and high femme and this, that, and the other. I wear eyeliner. I wear cat liner. I wear contour, stuff like that. I've been told multiple times that I paint my face a lot more femininely than most people do. And that none of that really bothers me. What bothers me is when, as a whole, the king community gets ignored.
Yeah.
They get put on a platform where they are not seen as equal to, like, it happens. And we have these conversations because like we've said multiple times, her and I have been best friends for 6 years.
Yeah.
And we've been dating for 2, and like we've formed this connection, and we can come to each other and we can discuss things that like hurt each other's feelings. And a lot of what I go to her about are like, hey, like we did this show and I noticed that like these people tipped you more than they tipped me.
Yeah.
Or like we've had multiple instances where people are like, I would rather have Salem than have you, or if I book both of you together, or is it a package deal and this, that, and the other and stuff. It's that kind of stuff that is what I would like to see, like kind of taken out of this equation.
Well, it needs to be like an equality to it.
Exactly. Like if you're going to sit here and say that you support everybody in the LGBT community, you shouldn't be selective on your entertainment that comes from them.
And that's very much within the community, because there's so many people like outside of it, like where you get the bachelorettes coming into town and it's like, oh my God, we didn't know drag kings were a thing. Yeah. We've never seen one. That was so cool. Because where drag is at and where people go, you don't really see kings showcased. At the most, if you see male representation on stage where they are very much performing as a male, it's go-go boys and stuff like that. And so it's very, oh, well, these are very sexualized for the male gaze and for the females to enjoy.
Well, see, would you say that's more from like the club owners or booking agents?
Yeah, all of it, really.
I mean, I think we're a lot of it. Sex sales.
Oh, it always has.
Sex sells. Like that's the bottom line. And when it comes down to it, especially here in Tennessee, we live in a place where blue laws are a thing. So blue laws are basically like why all of our strip clubs are BYOB.
Right.
They're not allowed to sell alcohol if they're going to show you titty.
Right.
Like if there's a titty, you're not getting a shot. Like that is basically
unless you brought it.
Yeah, you got to bring your own.
Exactly. You need to do that to save money anyways in this economy. But like that's basically how our bar system works in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rules and stuff like that, I am still viewed. So my driver's license is male. All of my legal paperwork says male. I am male. Do you and I have the same male parts? No, we do not. But you and I could walk into the same bathroom and nobody's going to question either one of us. But when in the eyes of the blue laws for Tennessee, I am still technically put into the category with strippers and female-bodied entertainers, or as we call them AFAB entertainers. They're a female at birth.
Yeah.
So that means that they have got female genitalia. They might not. So I'm AFAB.
Yeah.
I'm not female now, but I was born AFAB, and that's how the law views it. Is I'm not allowed to show my nipples. What?
See, I've always had a problem with that. I'm telling you. I mean, and I'm not.
No, it causes. You're right for that, because it causes a lot of problems even for us, because like
It's different in different places
well,
too.
You've got her over here that can come out in a bra.
Yeah.
And you can see like she's got big boobs. It sells.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like them a lot. They sell really well because they're big boobs. Everyone's going to be interested in that. There's a few people that'll be turned off by it, but a majority of the crowd are going to be interested in big boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is too, like a lot of like on my end is get confused often. People will think that because I am doing girl drag, they don't think I'm a girl.
Yeah,
they think I've got a fake chest plate on. They don't realize that I have female parts. They're like, oh my God, your tuck is amazing. That looks like such an expensive breastplate. And I'm like, actually, I grew it myself.
Yeah.
What the hell?
See,
And then they're surprised by that too, because we're not really put out there as like existing. Like, oh, girls can do drag as girls too. Like, yeah.
And you run into that problem, but like when it comes in terms of like how we're supposed to like push and market ourselves, and like you can get away with being in a bra and people seeing your big old boobies, but like with the way that the law stands, because of the genitalia that I have in my pants, I can't show my nipples on stage. I have a flat chest. I have I have two little nips that have got.
You've got a male chest. You've had the surgery.
Yeah, like I've had top surgery. I had top surgery in March of 2022. Like I've been over a year and a half post-op. Like I've had a male chest for that long, and the only place I'm allowed to show it is in Bowling Green, because I can still get the bar fine, because even though I am a man that performs as a man,
Right.
that has a male presenting body, I have scars and I have what I have in my pants, and so I'm not allowed to sell my sex basically anywhere but in Bowling Green.
Meanwhile, you can have cisgendered men. Like if you yourself felt like you wanted to go work at a bar and be a go-go boy and perform with the drag queens, you could be in a jock strap with your butt cheeks hanging out and stuff if you felt so inclined. But
Yeah,
they would accept that over
I'm not allowed to be a go-go boy in the state of Tennessee.
I would not look good
without a
like
license.
that.
I would have to register as a adult entertainer and perform at a bar that is BYOB if I wanted to be a go-go boy.
And see, I've got problems with that because, and my standpoint has always been, and this is not from a sexual point at all, but you take and you look at National Geographic and all this other stuff, all the way everywhere else in the world, women can walk around with no shirt on just like a guy.
Yeah, it's not taboo in other places.
Yeah, and the United States, it's where these.
It's because it's allowed to be openly sexualized, and we push that. It's the same way when you grow up in high school as a girl and you start developing. It's you get in trouble as a female because clothes you used to be able to wear don't fit the same. And then you get in trouble because other people, mostly boys, will become distracted, and then it's somehow your fault. Like,
Yeah,
maybe if we learned and taught people to like be respectful of other people's bodies, it wouldn't be a problem.
It's such a big taboo thing here in the US, but like people don't realize that overseas, like, I mean, even in the UK, like censorship is so different. Like, even in the news, like it doesn't have to even pertain to anything inherently sexual. Like as a kid that's
Car accidents are
exactly
even
as a
fully.
kid that's, I'm not gonna lie, as a kid that's into the horror macabre, like you fall into that gore pit every so often, and like you find interest in things. Like I know when Terrifier came out, that resurfaced a lot of shit for people. Like you get into the gore and the horror scene, and you dig a little bit deeper, and like you realize that news articles and stuff. If you've ever been to the Museum of Death in New Orleans,
No.
they have. Okay, in the very, very back, they have something called the Macabre Theater, and all it plays is newsreels from overseas because they don't censor what they put on the news.
No, they don't.
If something happens, you're going to see it in its full entirety because they don't believe in, like, this is stuff that happens in our world.
Yeah.
Women have boobs. It's a thing.
Nude
Like,
beaches are real. I mean, heck, I've got family that's in Italy that still goes. But I mean, that factory that blew up, I can't for the life of me remember. It was in a Middle Eastern area. That giant factory, it blew up, and I mean, it knocked street upon street upon street.
I remember
there were
that.
people going live, and you could see pieces of people. Like they don't cover it up because, like, well, on one hand, gosh, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to see it because I will cry. But you know, it's not censored. We just do it here because
I'm
of
just saying, meanwhile, here we're freaking out because if I show my nipples, you can't sell your fucking D-Betties. Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
and that is, like, it's a nipple. Like that's the thing that kills me is like I can cover everything else. Like I can cover everything from I'll go from my belly button down if you really fucking want me to, but like it is a nipple. I can go to a public beach and everybody's fine.
Yeah.
I can go to a public beach where they sell alcohol on the fucking beach and be fine.
Yeah, nobody say nothing.
It's just if you get on stage.
But if
Except when you get on stage.
God forbid I am 6 inches higher than everybody else and in a flashy costume and my nipple pokes out and $16,000. Like that is
crazy.
Because, and here it's, especially Nashville, it's not only would you as the person who's doing the like that does the problem gets fined, the establishment gets fined, and usually if they get fined, they also expect you to pay them. So it's like a triple threat, really.
It's like fines on top of fines on top of fines on top of fines.
That ain't right. So anyway, that's what I was saying. I mean, it just sometimes I got to pee a lot, sometimes I don't. I don't understand it.
It happens.
I know. When I was driving in a truck, I'd go 5-6 hours, not have to worry about it.
It's so different when you're driving, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking around at things and
You're distracted.
distracted.
Well, you're like, I can push it another like 50 miles. I can push it another 50 miles. And then you realize you went 150 miles without peeing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
Then you
Then you have to, don't you?
then you just put your knee in the seat, open the bottle, let her rip.
Can't relate.
Unless God forgot, then yeah.
Oh man, where was we before we took a break?
Blue laws.
Jupy can't show nipples.
Yeah.
I can't pull my nipples out.
Long story short, literally just the community within itself. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that within the gay community, the stuff that they see outside of it that they have problems with, like with the way that people treat other people, be it sex, color, any of that is very much the same. And it's unfortunately comes into the art when it should just be about respecting everyone's art, because that's all it is. It's subjective.
Well, that's my whole thing. I mean, it just, there is beauty in every art form. And nowhere in that beauty of that art form do you have all that complicated bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a wonderful human being that has a talent, has a dream, is good at an art, good at creating art. And I don't care where you go. You can do it in a gay bar. I would love to see it in like Moulin Rouge. I would love to see a bar like Moulin Rouge. I would love to see more bars open up with like a dinner club.
They have those.
They do.
They do. We actually brought him for his birthday in Atlanta. They're called Lips, and it's a entire venue run by drag queens, and it's built very much like, if you like imagine Moulin Rouge, only there's like the can legs sticking out of the wall, and it's all like vibrant fuchsia and very tacky colors, but of course, you know, it's what we do. Like, it's a whole dinner experience, a dining drag dinner experience.
I would go to that.
It's amazing.
See,
I would go
And
to
the
that.
food was good, which I was really expecting it to not be good, but God, that was good.
I think a lot of people are like in your same boat. They would love to see that shit. I mean, I know us as performers, we would love to have something like that. The problem lies is we have so few of them because people expect them to be absolutely perfect from the get-go. Like, there's a lot of things that people like. The community in Bowling Green right now, they're not very big by any means, but they're trying to grow, they're trying to move, they're trying to get bigger.
Right.
And it's great. The people that they have right now are loving, they're kind, they're accepting, they want to see it grow, they want to see it happen. But if you're not, try to think of the best way to say this, if you're not a part of that community, like if you're an ally or
outsider,
or you just like, you enjoy drag, or if like you are a bachelorette coming in, like, you asked about places that we perform in Nashville. Like, Play Dance Bar is your biggest one. They're the most renowned. They're going to be the most well known. But like,
They've also had a monopoly over the city for like 13 years of being the bigger bar.
they've been there for a while, and they also had to start somewhere, and they had to start somewhere and grow. But like, 5 Points Bar and Grill also does drag. They do drag bingos on Tuesday nights, hosted by Veronica Electronica.
Amazing.
Some of the best bingo that I've ever done in drag. It's great, and literally anybody can walk in there. Like, it's not. A majority of her crowds are really not what you would see at other gay bars and stuff. And like,
They're in there to enjoy food, and they might, I think a lot of them just stumble in to eat, and then it's like, oh, there's bingo
like,
too,
oh, shit,
and
free
Yeah.
drag and drag, and we can drink and win prizes, and like, people are on the same boat. Like they want to see that kind of stuff happen, but people that are not like are not performers, or they're not like die hard about drag or this, that, and the other.
The entertainer perspective, the audience perspective, I guess.
They don't understand that like things have to go. We've done shows in like old barns that have been renovated into bars in the middle of fucking
in
nowhere.
Pulaski, Tennessee. Yes.
And it was one of the best experiences we've ever had because the crowd was so nice. They were so small, but they were intimate and they were sweet, and like it was very just full of love. And especially during Pride, it was a nice experience to have. But like that's like they don't see the value in that.
Right.
They want it to be this big grand production every single time. Like if we opened a drag queen run like Lips in Atlanta, if we opened one of those in Nashville, people would expect it to be the cream of the cream, like the absolute like
Best of the
it would
best.
become a competition with other drag brunches in the area, and instead of seeing it as, oh, this is another opportunity for us to perform
It'd be a war.
here, it'd be warfare.
it'd be a war, because that's what like we want to sit here and say in drag that we love and we accept and we do this and we do that.
We create a competition that doesn't exist.
People have a shady side.
Yeah.
People are greedy. People want.
Oh, that's all walk of life. It doesn't matter your sexuality. That's everything.
And that's the sad thing, is that it does still exist in drag. And
Yeah.
like, we are already, not only are we a marginalized group to the outside world, the outside world wants to be entertained by us, but we're only showing them like, it's basically like we're filtering, like we're showing them like, hi, we're just like you, like bleach blonde hair, top 40 music, Taylor Swift this, Ariana Grande that.
And that's
Yeah.
where we come in as the spooky ones, where like we're thankful that there is stuff that's becoming more popular, like Dragula, where it's instead of seeing RuPaul's Drag Race, where it's all these girls that look very much the
Fabulous.
same, very, very glamour,
Very fabulous.
yes, as opposed to like, you know, those of us like a good friend of ours, like in Knoxville, Eva La Diva sits there and will use hypodermic needles with flowers on them and make them look like a flower crown, pull them out of her face and start putting them all over her body. Or people that will like I do stuff where I'll spit blood all over him. It looks like I ripped his neck out or his intestines and just blood, and it's actually just cinnamon rolls and stuff like that. But
Oh my
they're really
God, that's
creepy.
hot.
Thank you.
It's things that like,
Most people wouldn't necessarily appreciate, but again, just because it's not your cup of tea doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't drink
yeah,
it.
it's like-
Exactly.
and you'd be, and that's the other thing. Like you'd be surprised. Like if you opened yourself up, you'd be surprised at what you'd be entertained by. Like there's a great fucking performer that we met at Austin International Drag Fest, and now I'll openly admit it. Like I'm not the biggest fan of campy drag, which campy drag is like your like comical.
Is this about to be Holiday Cash?
Fuck yeah, it is.
Holiday Cash,
Absolutely.
a queen.
Came out as a crawfish.
No.
Like,
she came out as a boiling pot of water,
boiling pot of water, like
and it
silver.
revealed into being a giant, shiny crawfish.
And her jewelry was potatoes and corn on the cob. Like it was great. Like it blew my mind. Not into campy stuff whatsoever. That shit.
That
got
sounds cool.
hilarious.
had it for me. I fucking loved it. I was like, this is not my genre of drag. I'm not usually like attuned to this. I'm not usually one to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
campy drag, yeah. But that it was phenomenal.
That and then like we've got like on the even the drag king thing again. Spank Knightley in Champaign, Illinois is this precious little like 5'2" drag king, tiny, like just so they're so sweet, and their makeup that they do is very like cartoon version of like 1950s drunk
very-
smoker.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
very vaudeville looking, and he
Yeah.
does like all that stuff. He like his whole persona. He says he's like Spank's an asshole. He's a drunk smoking asshole who's just chasing tail. But like everything he does is just with such purpose and so creative, and his makeup is flawless. And the idea that if he were to come to Nashville, I'd be like, I'd really like to do a show, and he would just like it without anyone going and looking at him and knowing what he's capable of, just being like, oh, well, it's a king, so we're probably not going to really look at it.
Yeah.
When he is one of the most entertaining, just
And there are so-
perfect to look at king.
There are so many people like that. Like there are so many kings that I have seen that I've been watching drag since I was 11. I'm 20.
Right.
I'm 25 now, so it's been 14 years of my life. It's been over half of my life I've been involved in drag in some way, shape, or form. And there are numerous times where I have seen kings outdo queens.
Yeah.
They won't be given that opportunity or that chance. Like I'm a double title holder. I've proven myself. I know what I can do. I don't think that I'm the best of the best, but at the same time, I know my value and I know my worth.
Right.
I still couldn't walk up to a couple of bars around here and be like, "Hey, I want to do a weekend night." They're not even bat an eye at me because I am a king.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to do I did only one weekend at the bar that I've been at for 8 years. And it was on my birthday. And the only reason I got to do it really is because it was on my birthday. And I asked quite a few months ahead. I was like, hey, I'd really love to perform on my birthday. And they're like, yeah, sure. Cause I'd done a couple of nights during the weekday for them before to fill in.
Right.
And I was definitely more accepted because I am still female presenting to the audience and I am female. So they're like, oh yeah. Like this goes along with what we do. And then they ended up getting one of the biggest performers to ever come out of RuPaul's Drag Race booked the same night as my birthday. They let me still perform. And I'm also not saying this to seem like I have a big head because I'm probably like the hardest on myself at we're all our worst critics, but like I've been,
everybody is.
I've been going through my own bout of feeling like my art's not been great lately, but just to work with someone so highly regarded, the room is filled to the point that there's people trying to tip me that are like, they're practically crawling over each other. It's so stuffed in there. I walked out of that show doing 4 numbers and I made $1,000 and I came out into the crowd because I think a lot of the problem in our communities, we really lose touch with our audience. And it's like, everyone always says, oh, well, yeah, you want to make sure that they come back to the show. You want to make sure that they tip you and they stick around, which is true. But also like, I'm very much like, hey, are you having a good time? Like, thanks for coming. Like, it's really cool that you are here and you're sticking around. I don't know how many people that night were like, I didn't know you could be a girl and do this. And 2, we've been coming here for years in other bars and we've never heard anyone or seen anyone do the more alternative stuff that you do. Why are you not here regularly? That's so cool that it's so different because it's not what we get to see and it's different. And there's a craving for the different, but no one really wants to rock the boat, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's like back in the 60s and the 70s, you had the
Beatles.
Well, you had that too.
Yeah.
But you had the backroom stuff, and people went to it.
And that's kind of how I feel like I've had this conversation with a couple of different people because like my feelings on it, especially coming from my standpoint as a trans man that does drag king stuff, is very different from her standpoint. We share a lot of the same emotions and a lot of the same qualms.
Same coin, different sides all the time.
Yeah. Like there's very much a hierarchy when it comes to drag. You're cisgendered, which means you're born a man, you are a man.
You identify with that.
Cisgendered white queens sit at the top because that is what they've been fed. It's like we're trying to slowly like introduce.
I fully believe if RuPaul's Drag Race put on people such as myself or Jupitar or even girls that do king stuff, I think that it would be so evened out. But we very much created this mainstream idea that this is what's correct. This is what it's supposed to be look like. And then it creates a culture for people outside of performing. Like they know everything.
Right.
Like,
well, to me, it feels like, like this is not probably the best analogy to use, but it's like the whole poison thing. Like you eat a little bit at a time and then you can take a big dose of it and you don't die or whatever. But like it feels like we are systematically like feeding the outside perspective. Like here, you can accept RuPaul because he hangs out with Nirvana and stuff. And then it's, hey, you can like accept his show that he's going to be putting on daytime TV.
Yeah.
And then it's, hey, like you can accept these queens. Like there's so much more to drag and so much more to this world than people know about, but it's like we're very cautious because if we do it all at once, they won't accept it all at once.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that necessarily. Like RuPaul's definitely like was in the scene a lot earlier when drag was very much like getting its mainstream kick where it wasn't super taboo, but it's like that's an older queen and it's the same deal where you have a lot of people that have been in the industry, which like queens for longer, that don't really see like what we do as the same or a value, like especially like for them, they're like, oh, boys have it easier. Like, no. And
no,
then, oh, well, you're a girl. You're already built with the stuff that we have to do. You shouldn't be doing this.
I've got an analogy for you.
Yeah, there you go.
But you get looked at like a stripper is the thing.
And it's going to be comical when you think about it. because listen to both of you talk about it and everything. You're a white dude.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
That's the funny. See, and that's the crazy.
That's the
thing about
irony,
it.
actually.
That's the ironic part is that you would think like, so like I don't hate cis men because they're men. I don't hold any like tension towards cis men at all. I don't hold tension towards anybody. Like I don't give a shit who you are. If you're good,
I don't give a damn.
yeah. If you're a good, genuine person, like I don't give a fuck who you are. But like we can all acknowledge that like this is very much a man's run world. Mm-hmm. Even in the world of drag, this is a very much a man's run world.
But my standpoint on it is when drag started, shut up because I did some research. When drag started, there wasn't any guys in there at all. There was no kings in there at all. It was all women dominated. And a lot of it turned into hate men.
It was very much a lot of trans women, and then there were the lesbians, and then the gay men.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that's funny is that like even like talking about the hierarchy, like your cisgendered white men sit at top, and then you've got your men of color, because even in our world like that is an issue. Even in the world of drag, like racial profiling and stuff like that is a problem. But like you've got those two up front. As long as you are cisgendered, you are going to sit at the top somewhere. You are going to already go farther than everybody else is.
Yeah, but you're playing a woman.
Yep. And then you've got trans women right below that. And even then, like that's immediately where we run into a problem because RuPaul didn't even allow trans women on the show because like there is like I said, pageantry. I'm very, very big into pageantry when it comes to drag. It's just part of how my drag family is. So I know a lot of the history about pageantries and stuff. There are certain pageants that like you can't enter if you are a trans woman that has had breast implants done or any type of surgery or any type of hormones. You're not allowed to enter. You're not allowed to compete with cisgendered queens.
Holy crap! What is this? The American Beauty pageant? I mean,
that's why like I just got to be the first cisgendered girl that identifies as such to get to win a title in Nashville, because before they had Miss and Mr. And I do identify as female, like, you know, because, and that's who I am. But, you know, I would not have been allowed to compete amongst the other drag queens. They would have made me do Mr. with him and been in King Drag because
they go as far as separating the boys too, as well. So there's a pageant that just happened here recently. It's called Genesis. Genesis, I was the first pageant that I ever competed in. When I competed, it was Mr., Mrs., Diva, and male lead.
And I'm
they
technically
split the boys
a diva.
and they split the girls. So she's technically considered a diva because she's cisgendered and she's a female that does female drag.
right.
They separated her from the male queens or the trans queens, or basically like if you were born a woman, you belong in this category. If you were born a man, you belong in this category. And then it's divided even more so by what gender you perform in drag. So I'm considered a drag king.
Wild, isn't it? Wildly complicated.
It's insane. Like I'm considered a drag king, but like one of my good friends who actually just won Genesis. He's your newly crowned Mr. Genesis 2023. Juan JC. He's incredible. Is a male lead. He is a man that performs as a man. Him and I, there are certain pageantry systems that we wouldn't be able to compete together.
But like how we talked about earlier with the nipples showing and stuff, JC can get on there. They've been in the same show before where he can't do what JC is being allowed to do.
All because of the birth certificate.
And he thinks it's bullshit too. Like it's one of those things. Like
it is bullshit.
It's so fucking wild. You wouldn't think that this kind of stuff exists.
We want to be so inclusive in our community, but yet divide ourselves so avidly.
Like there's a whole
we're in a community that is supposed to be all inclusive.
There's a whole national pageantry system that was created specifically for trans people, and you cannot compete unless you are transgender because of those rules. Like because of so much turmoil that they have faced in terms of like I said, RuPaul did not allow trans women on his show until there was a lot of uproar. There was a lot of people competing in different seasons coming out as trans once they were already on the show. Because they couldn't say anything beforehand because they knew they wouldn't be able to stand a chance. Well, it's because they started doing all-star seasons and they were like, why are these people not being considered for all-stars? And what is your reason? What's your reason behind that?
Some of the best competitors to ever get on there.
I'm holding a cup up. Oh, it's on my camera. Look. Anna, would you get me something to drink, please? What I had a while ago. Bottom left. Yep. Yay. But yeah, I mean,
That's where it gets hard. Like when, like bringing back to like why you have us here, that we are like more alternative, spooky entertainers. Like it's hard enough when those are the baseline rules and stigmas in place, but then you add on top of not just all that separation, the fact that what we do is
Isn't really
macabre
accepted.
and
Yeah.
alternative. Because I mean, not everything I do is gonna be fake blood and guts. Not everything we do is like that, you know. Like I'll do upbeat stuff too, but the fact is, like when this month comes around, it's our busiest month other than Pride, because this is what we do. Like I've got, we were so hard getting you our schedule because we were still trying to figure out what days where we're going
shows
to
where we're
Knoxville
going.
for 2 days, and then to Bowling Green, and then to Bristol, and then back to Knoxville, and then back to Bowling Green, and then to Nashville, because it's like
yeah,
this is
well,
what we do.
Traveling.
what you're
circuits.
going to do, though, is when y'all play in Nashville, I'm coming.
Okay, well I've got a show on the 13th.
Yeah, highway.
And
Brewery.
actually, no, we both have a show coming up. We're not in the same show, but I am on the 13th. I'm at Highwire Brewery, and then on the 18th, he is booked at Play Nashville for his first booking as Mr. Nashville Pride, and then I am booked the following Wednesday on the 25th as well for
Well, I want to see y'all entertain live, and I would like to see that. I have never. I'm confessing right now. I have never been,
It's an experience.
It's okay.
and I'm wanting to come see it.
That's fine.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
if I could just, what are you looking at me
You'll
for?
see.
You
You'll
want to go
see.
too?
You will very much see what I'm talking. What we're both talking about.
The only rules that there really are is tipping is compulsory and don't get on the stage or they will throw you out.
Well, it's like a
It happens. It still
Look,
fucking happens.
okay. I'm gonna confess something here. I've only been to 3 strip clubs my whole life.
I've never been.
I have
The
been one
first,
time.
the first time was because hey, I just turned 18.
Yeah.
I had
See
to
what the
go.
hype's about.
Gotta go. Yeah, it was disgusting. Because back then we didn't have upper scale strip clubs.
You didn't have all the rules.
You're
and
at the like
regulations.
the dive bar, and there just happens to be a pole on top of the counter next to someone's hot wings.
no, they were actually laid out good, and I never went to Classic Cat. Classic Cat was the one that was the longest running in Nashville, and it was supposed to be, upper scale. I never went to that one.
Now we just have deja vu.
Oh, there's more than deja vu. There's
that.
Crazy
But,
Horse.
The
Yeah, well, I've never been to Crazy Horse
I've
either.
only been to Deja Vu.
And I can't even remember the name. Golds? No, not Golds.
There's that like crazy.
There was another
coding
one.
that's like.
There's the Hustlers Club. That's in
What's-
what Miranda's sex shop used to be.
What's
Yeah.
the one with the fucking pink leg sign in downtown Nashville?
That's Crazy Horse.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Crazy Horse.
That was like
they-
show pony or
They're
something.
supposed to have like a rodeo thing in the middle. The bucking.
Oh, the bull.
Yeah, the bull.
That's amazing.
That's what they're supposed to. I don't know if they've got it or not. But when I was going,
I have to know now.
it was like 18 through 22. I've been in 3. And the only thing I liked about it, and this tells you how my mind works, I didn't care about the naked women. I really didn't. Because I come to that realization, they just want my money, and I ain't going home with none of them.
Correct.
It is their
But-
job.
And each one, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere or not, but in each one of those clubs I went to, there was always this one girl, and she could go around that pole and
That is
do all
art.
those. And I was just like,
That's why I want to go to.
It takes so much body strength you don't even know.
That's why I want to go to Atlanta. The videos that I've seen come out of there are insane.
the
yeah.
athletic ability to do pole. I want one so bad because like I'm fine with my legs, but the amount of arm strength you need to be able to
Yeah.
hold your,
That's my thing though with stripping in particular is I love when strippers go that extra mile. Like you have the ones that are like, yes, I'm hot. Like give me a mini.
Yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
And then you have the ones that's like, hey, do you think that I can like propel myself down towards the floor on this pole and not die?
I would fully
is
be. I
wild.
can't walk in those heels. I respect them for the fact that they can walk in the pleasers. If I was ever actually a stripper, I would be in a pair of Vans sneakers or Heelys, and I would do my best, but I'd probably end up just eating a piece of pizza on stage. like I would be trying my hardest, and then I'd be like, you know what? No.
I think that's why I appreciate drag so much, because I'm like, let me see all this crazy shit, but like heavily costumed.
Yeah. Well, see, we did. I was the LD light director down at the Limelight, and we had a big show, and it was Jones World. Now, Todd and them, they put on just a huge freaking show. You know, it's like 3 hours, 3.5 hours long, and all of them are themed. And for this one that he did, he had one song, and it was mostly bass type driven song. And I can't even remember all of the song, but this girl come out, and they had a stripper pole on stage. And I took the movers that I had, and I panned them around, and I put a heart within a heart on the wall back behind her.
Oh, I love that.
Everything else was blue, and she's on that pole, and I couldn't do anything. I was mesmerized
I love that.
at what this girl could do.
There's so much aerial art behind that too, because like you get the pole, and then you've got like the silks and stuff.
Yeah.
Too. God, I've even tried the silks before. I learned real quick how much body strength I had. It's amazing.
So I want to say it's Nashville Hell. I don't think they exist anymore. There was a haunted house that we went to for Gabe's birthday. I want to say it was like 2 years ago. I want to say it's called Nashville Hell. That sounds about right. But we're standing in line, and they have like a box that goes out over their line. Like, we're standing along the side of the building, and there's this little box that goes over their door to enter or whatever. It's a strip box. They had a zombie stripper come out there with.
Put me in, coach.
She had.
That sounds cool.
We use a lot of props and stuff like sawdusters and standers and stuff, and because if you take the belts off and you run them up against like grates and stuff, they'll make sparks, and that's what she was doing in the box while she was stripping.
Wow.
It was like Linkin Park. Like, they had awful music choice when it came to this shit, but like the stuff that she was doing in the box with like the sander and stuff was really fucking cool.
That would be
love that
awesome.
shit.
I'd love to see that.
I know Devil's Dungeon's got a zombie stripper too. Like, she comes out in the roller skates and everything.
Nothing like zombie strippers.
That's been a legend. Like in like Nashville haunt lore, they've had the zombie stripper for years now.
Didn't they make a movie about zombie strippers?
Yeah.
I was thinking they did.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Devil's Dungeon? Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Literally, it changed. The guy, I want to say it's been the same guy for a couple of years now, but like they've had a couple different ones, but they always have a scene. It's literally like just a tiled hallway. You walk down it. There's a pole in the center, and there's nothing else in this room. And you walk right past it, and he comes blazing through the curtains, and all he's got on is like a little G-string thong and roller skates.
God, good for him. Good for him.
People give him ones and shit.
Oh God, I couldn't do it.
I used to know like half the people that worked there, and they're so much fucking fun.
Talking about falling down and getting some road rash on your butt, man.
I used to skate. I just think about Sean Dick like doing that.
Yeah, there's a drag king in Knoxville. He literally does he's so good at roller skating. He does numbers on stage in skates, and I'm always so afraid he's gonna get too close to the edge and just like right over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a
Well, I mean, one thing I like is when it's because I've seen some stuff, and I'm the RuPaul thing. Anna was watching it, and I remember it's like when you see in movies and stuff where they have the drag queens and stuff, but you'll just see them come out, and you'll see them kind of sing, and you'll see them kind of just walk around the stage a little bit. They might walk out in the audience and seductively touch somebody or something across the side of their face and stuff. And I ain't about that. I want to see some action. I want to see some.
You want to see like the death drops and the splits.
I want to see all of it. I want to show me a show.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
You like the stage presence aspect of it, and like when it's just
I've
the very
always been like
small. walking around, it doesn't give you the same excitement.
No,
You
I mean,
like the people that are actually doing drag because they genuinely enjoy drag, not the ones that just do drag because they want your dollar.
I like the ones that get out there and just love what they do.
They work for the dollar.
And they ain't even up there worried about the dollar.
Yeah.
They up there worried about putting on the best show they can.
Yeah, that's where like it comes in with like the alternative stuff that like we like to do, is because I mean, you can tell, like, and this is again not to sound so braggy, but like what we do is not the norm for what people want to see or think that they are going to see. So like
Not at all.
what we do when we do it, it's like I could go out there doing In This Moment, which is my favorite people to perform as, if not Ash Nico or Paris, and it's stuff that people probably, if you were to go out on the street right now and ask 100 people, barely any of them would probably know who that is, but I love doing it. And so like that's where you get the difference between, oh yeah, everyone's doing top 40 stuff. Well, that's because that's what they think everyone that's coming in is gonna like. So that's what they do over and over and over again.
That's the same thing with all these clubs downtown. You know, you go down Broad Street,
You hear the same 5 songs because that's all.
it's the same thing over and over, but it's at different clubs at different
It
intervals.
ends at one radio station, and you go to the next one, and the same damn
Yeah.
song is just starting up, and you're like,
Yeah,
this is boring.
you know, you just heard that.
Oh yeah. No.
But see, when Nashville was in its heyday, because I was born and raised down there, back in its heyday, it was, you went to the bars, you played on stage, so people would hear your original songs, and producers would be around, record people, all that stuff. And it was about honing your craft, getting your stage presence, and hopefully getting signed.
Yeah, that's
How in the hell are you supposed to get signed now when you're singing the freaking same Tim McGraw song in every daggone bar from 5 minutes apart?
yeah.
You can't do it.
That's exactly how I was told left and right. Like I've always been like this.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to put it. I've always been like scene, emo, goth, whatever, on the darker side of things, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to my drag in particular, like I've always, my character, like regardless of the name, regardless of the age, has always been the angry, spooky goth kid. That's always been me. Like it's never wavered. And in the moments when it does try to is when things go horribly wrong. Like I was always told, like, you'll never win any type of pageant with an alternative package, because winning packages don't include, like, you know, blood and guts and gore and spooky, and like you have to get your judges to like you, not hate you, and like
Right.
all these rules that you're told, like the only way you're gonna win this is if you do, like, I don't know, like Maroon 5, and your suit is like baby blue, and like you're happy and bubbly and sparkly and this shit. And that's what I was told religiously. And it's like the first time that I tried to do a pageant, like I failed epically. Like I last of last, like absolute awful scores.
It was probably Maroon 5.
But like, you know, I came back, and when I decided that I wanted to do pageants again, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and I'll gladly accept y'all's help, but I'm gonna do it my fucking way. Like, we're gonna listen to me, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm comfortable with and what I think I know could win. And you know, I put my whole like I had a different idea for my suit, but like my suit I paid $10 for, got it tailored by one of my sponsors, got the fabric worked on it by the same girl, and I was like, it's going to be dark, it's gonna have spikes, it's gonna be spooky, it's gonna be everything that I envisioned this being.
Yeah.
And I was like, my talent is gonna be spooky, it's gonna be Broadway. I did Beetlejuice, so I was like, it's gonna be Broadway, it's gonna be spooky, it's gonna be, I don't know how to fucking dance. I don't.
He doesn't. He's not being
I'm gonna be
humble.
completely real with you. Like, I don't know how to fucking dance. I'm a white boy with 2 left feet, and I do not know how to fucking dance with a tune in a bucket. But
It's okay. You just follow her and let her do the spins and everything
But
else.
he picked something that tailors to that.
yeah, I was like, even then, I still struggle because
You're playing a
It's
dead man on
choreography.
stage.
Yeah.
So I went with something where I knew that I could add props. I could play with props. I didn't have to dance. I didn't have to do anything that didn't require a prop. I could improvise because, hi, spooky dead guy. Like that is very much my aesthetic. And so it was easy for me to feel comfortable doing that. Like I remember doing my first talent for my first package, at the first pageant that I ever did. And I wasn't happy with it because it wasn't me. It was me, but it wasn't me enough.
Right.
It was me tailored to.
It was you watered down.
It was me tailored to try to think what I think the judges would like.
Oh God.
And it didn't fly. And so when I did these last two, like I was like, because I did the last two with the same package, because that evening wear took me too goddamn long. But like the only thing that I had to change was my presentation, and even my presentation for my Upper Cumberland pageant, which is the first title that I ever won, was spooky.
Yeah.
I was a scary trans person in a bathroom.
He built a bathroom stall, got the giant like articulate fingers, came out to tiptoe through the tulips. Like it was so cool. That bathroom stall is sitting on our porch right now.
leaning more than the fucking tower in Italy. Like it's awful. But like that was my shit. Like I was like, it doesn't have to be scary, but I'm gonna make it scary.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna keep my package. So the second pageant was superheroes and supervillains, so I couldn't really be scary with that. But
he was hilarious. He came out as that bowl cut villain Vector from Despicable Me, and he had like a stuffed animal shoved under his stomach to have the little gut. It was the best thing I have ever seen.
You didn't know that Bass Pro Shop sells stuffed piranhas, but
Oh yeah, they
do.
They do.
They sure the fuck do, and they come in handy sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're building a piranha gun. But like, I was always told left and right like you could never be alternative and win something, and I did my alternative package and I won 2 titles with it. So
yeah, and I took mine in a completely nerdy direction because I mean I always told myself if I did compete, because I'm not a competitive person, like if I get stuck in the situation I want to win, but like I don't ever put myself in that situation on purpose.
Are you like a Ricky Bobby type? If you ain't first, you last.
yes.
Not necessarily. No, I'm not. Not necessarily. I'm Cal. I'm there. I'm just happy to be there with you.
Bobby.
Shake and bake.
Shake it back, baby.
Yeah. No, I mean, my thing is like if I'm going to do it, I want to do it. But also like I'm not actively seeking out situations to like put myself in that position, you know, like.
But you just every now and then just kind of fall in that way.
A little bit. I mean, I was very much encouraged once
I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum. I love like.
He's like, you should do it. You should do it.
I have.
They open the category so people like you could do it. Why wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't that be so cool? I'm like, oh, shit.
I have very methodical plans for my drag. Like I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna make RuPaul money and be this, that, and the other. Like it is just a hobby at the end of the day. Like it is just something. It's an art form. It's something that I love to do. Bottom line, I don't ever expect to make money off of it. That's why like you see a lot of people that will join drag and quit all of their responsibilities. They're like, oh, I don't need my full-time job. Yes, you fucking do.
Yeah, you do.
Drag
Yeah,
ain't
you
cheap.
fucking do, because drag isn't cheap, and everything that you're getting from it, you're probably putting it back into it. Like,
Well,
granted-
dresses and makeup and
rhinestones
props.
alone.
Rhinestones alone. Are you?
I paid $10 for the suit that I've got pictures of it. I paid $10 for the suit that I wore for my evening wear.
$250 in stones alone.
$255,
Oh, I'm so
technically, eh?
sorry. Shipping and handling. Fucking forgive me.
$255 in just little pieces of
Sparkle.
glass, like $255
Yeah.
is how much I spent, because that's how many you have to do the things that we do. And like,
Yeah,
You
I
got to be bejeweled.
people don't realize like we've been
Well,
putting
for evening wear especially, they really like are heavy on that. I mean, and I recycled costumes I already had from cosplaying or that like I just made because I was like, oh, like I have a ball gown that I hand painted. It took me 3 months, and it's a Starry Night by Van Gogh because I'm an art major and Van Gogh is my biggest inspiration. So I still use that and I use it for my talent, but I still paid like $150 to make a 10-foot tall backdrop of the Starry Night.
yeah, like we've been put.
I'm gonna try and show this.
Yep, that's my fucking evening wear that
So
took too long, way too long.
Okay, did you see it?
Absolutely,
That's cool as all get out.
way too long. But it's got spikes. It's black and red, like my aesthetic is. Like that's the kind of stuff that they said that I'd never win with. But I was like, I'm gonna do it anyways.
No, he's putting off a little bit of a Hispanic vibe here.
Oh, the shoes, very much so. The little pointy boots.
But even then, like people don't realize, like we only won. What is it? It's 300 a piece.
Yeah, you get part of your like cash winnings partially when you win, and then the other half is when you are stepping down
you
and handing
get a-
your title over to someone else. So you have
Right.
a whole year that you are to represent your title and to do something with it, do some good.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
a package and stuff like after you win and shit like that, like $300 in cash and like gift cards and like the crown and sash and this, that, and the other. Yeah. But like people don't realize, like they think, oh, I'm going to spend. Oh, there's also entry fees. Like entry fees can
Yeah.
range. I mean, I've seen entry fees as high as like $200-$300 because their prize packages are 20 grand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but even the people that compete on that level, if you're competing on a national level where your prize package is 20 grand, you're spending like 50 on your package.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got to think, you've got 3 different categories, sometimes 4. You have 3 different categories. You've got presentation, which is props, costumes, and whatever else we need.
Going along with a theme usually that they give out.
Yeah, talent. You've got props and costumes.
Dancers even possibly you might have to pay to be there as well.
Evening wear. So even though like my alterations and my fabric work and the price for the suit itself was all together was $10, the price of the shoes, the stones to put on them, the shirt that goes underneath, the bow ties, all of that shit, that suit, that whole package when I wear it together is collectively worth about $550.
Yeah.
So
And then if you want to consider the labor, like we have friends that assisted us with, like, I mean, there's times he went to work and I sat on the bed for hours until I fell asleep and holding E6000 and tweezers with the stones.
my drag dad, Chase Sky, my drag grandfather, Easy Love, like I so many people had a hand, and like I did a majority. I had a majority of the work, but like so many, I wouldn't have finished if I wouldn't have had those people. But it's like,
And they're volunteering their time. There's also people that have to commission others because they themselves don't have the time or have that network to help them. So you're sending off these stuff, paying to send it off and get it sent back, paying these people to do it. You know, and these are like national level. So you end up spending so much because you're not just competing against your local people that you know and maybe can get an idea of what you've got around. You're going against people from around the country you might have never ever met before that are already at like this level.
you don't know what kind of funds people got access to. Money talks and money pays. Like you don't know who they have up their fucking sleeve. Like I'm fortunate enough to have a girl that I met through haunting. Actually, she used to be my makeup artist at a haunt.
Absolute
she
queen.
is the pyrotechnic specialist for WWE, and she does costuming for. I mean, she dresses people professionally. Like she does seamstress work and all that stuff. She's worked really in depth with In This Moment. She's worked with Lil Nas X. She's worked with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's worked with Beyonce. Like she's done these kinds of things for people. It costs money. Like if she dressed me for my Upper Cumberland Pride pageant and she was like, you don't have to pay me. And I was like, bitch, I'm giving you something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here's $50. She was like, just give me like gas. And I was like, cool. Gas was like what, like $75? Here you go. I was like, here, take it. And she was like, no. And I was like, you're taking this. Like there's no, I was like, you dress people that can afford to pay you astronomical prices. Like I can't do that, but I'm still going to do it in some way, shape or form.
Oh, yeah. You got to do something. I mean, and this is where, see, there's so many similarities because, you know, I've been around the music industry. Y'all were doing that. But from everything you're telling me and what I know of the music industry and their costumes and their bedazzlements and the suits and the boots and everything else. Look, it costs money.
It does.
Everything
And if you're
costs
getting
money.
in it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons
You're
because
never gonna make more than what you put into it. Like
Never.
It's so fucking weird because at the bottom of everything, at the end of the day, like what this whole conversation, like you're so into music and that was your life and that's what you're used to and this is what we're used to. At the end of the day, we are both still in an art form.
Yeah,
And at the at the end of the day, like we go back on what we were talking about, like, you know, having nipples out and stuff like that is so taboo in our world. But like our world
is taboo.
Is so taboo to everybody else. Like everyone, you grow up expecting everybody to be like a medical doctor or a lawyer or this, that, the other. Like we grow up encouraging that and discouraging like we encourage get into art because it gives you something to express.
you can't make a living with that animation degree that you want.
Yeah, you can't make a living.
I wonder if Van Gogh's mom felt that way, or Beethoven, or Einstein.
And they probably did.
You know?
And like that's
I mean, everyone hated Van Gogh's art. Like they thought it was awful, and that's why he was already like mentally like schizophrenic. So that's why he went through his problems. But everyone made fun of him where he went. Like he went and studied with Claude Monet and learned Impressionism and Pointillism and all this stuff, and like to improve his art. But the whole reason that we got the best works out of him is because everyone shit on him, and he got depressed, and he didn't get the proper treatment he needed for as long as he needed. And, you know, back then paints were toxic, and he's sitting there eating yellow paint to feel happy. And, you know, it spiraled and it crashed and burned. But now we can appreciate the art for what it is. But like,
but even then,
I love that her
still-
college is coming out. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah.
I love that.
a half a college.
I can't help listen.
Tax fraud.
My college got shut down for tax fraud, so I didn't get to graduate, but I did get my education out of it. Shout out to everyone
That's-
else that had to suffer through the Art Institute.
That's my thing. But even then, right there is like you went to college, I didn't, so I get looked at weird for that
Well,
shit.
I mean, even still, I got told when I was like, hey, mom, hey, dad, I know that like, which I mean, granted, my dad is a freaking hippie and he's a musician, and he's very much has always been, baby, you do what you want. I'm going to be proud of you. I'm always going to be here to tell you how I think you could be doing better. And, you know, and my mom's always been supportive too. So when they were like art school, they're like, well, if that's what you want to do, then do it to your best ability and really put everything into it. But you know, usually it's, I mean, what do you mean you don't want to be an astrophysicist?
And that's
what the hell?
That's where I'm getting at with that.
How are we going to be taken care of when you're older?
Well, I mean, that's what's weird because
They weren't expecting, hey, mom, hey, dad,
Yeah.
listen, not only am I gay, I now play dress up and I lip sync for money. And like, I mean, my mom's always been supportive of it. My dad has been too, but he didn't understand until he got to be there. And like,
right.
my mom is as well. And they're like, well, we know you like theater. You always grew up doing theater in school. You always did chorus. You always did dance. You always did a cappella group, and you always did like physical visual art.
But
so we
yet you won't
expected some. I love to sing. I really do. But I'm also one of those people where I'm like, I know my truth. I am not.
No.
like
See,
these other people.
you spelled out chorus and all these other things. Sang, baby, sang.
And that's my thing is like a lot of people expect like art to just be there. Like art is an escape for the people that do like
Well, and they also
medical
expect
field.
what they see pushed, where it's like you're coming in to see amateurs, new people, like coming to an open stage event, expecting to see Christina fucking Aguilera or Cher, like just like, oh, someone coming in that can belt and do all this stuff. Like, no, you're coming to
expecting
people.
to see RuPaul in a local environment.
And
Like,
you're getting a local budget. You
Yeah.
know, you're not gonna have the same shit that you'd see on the VMAs at a small local like pub where people are signing up for open stage. You're gonna get raw, unfiltered, what they have to their ability in the moment. Like if you gave these people the same budget and training, you bet your ass a lot of them would probably be up at that same level.
yeah.
But you know, like where you were getting at the RuPaul thing. RuPaul girls that win, $12,000 booking fee alone, not usually including accommodations for travel or stay, you know. And it's like, well, yeah, they're going to have all these nice costumes and all the like the best makeup and all of this.
Right.
They're being shoveled out like so much money. And it's like, if you gave anyone the opportunity and to eventually get there, you know.
I guess I guess like I don't have a problem with that, but that is my problem with it. Is like you've got these girls that are like, oh, my booking fee is $12,500, like,
And a king is getting 250.
and you're like, wait,
Not
you're like-
even.
You're like, okay, well, I'm not mad at you because you obviously accomplished this. You're great. Like thank you for making strides in our community and getting out there and pushing yourself and doing great and being your best. Like Sasha Colby just won not too recently. And was,
Beautiful
like,
trans woman.
Yeah, it was one of the first like outwardly transitioned trans women to be like, hey, like I'm a winner here. And like, yes, queen, like you pushed our limits and you've pushed our boundaries and you've done great things for our community. You deserve to get paid that, but also like, don't forget that there are people behind you that also deserve to get paid that.
And I think that
Yeah.
comes a lot for like venues as well, because I will fully say it. You know, you've got bars such as Play Nashville where we got our start that are paying that $12,500 to get one night with a person that's probably only going to do 2 numbers in a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Whereas you have us who has been there, like me, we were on cast there. I was there consecutively for the 8 years I've been performing, and they'll only pay you $25 a night.
You're scared to put King on stage because you're scared that you're going to lose your audience, but you're training your audience by doing that.
Yeah.
You are if you have your bar's going to be packed regardless of if it's fucking Thursday or Friday night. Like regardless of who you have on cast on Thursday or Friday night, your nights are going to play out how they play out. You are not the deciding factor in that. Now, if you sit here and you say, "Hey, I'm going to put this Rue girl here on this Friday or this Saturday," yeah, obviously you're going to have an influx of people.
Oh yeah, and just you ain't even got to do a whole lot of advertising. Everybody's going to know.
Yeah, exactly. And if you were to look at your local talent that is just as good but without the fucking title, if you were to look at your local talent and be like, "Oh, I'm going to put this person, this person, this person, this person on this Friday night cast," whatever happens, you don't have a Rue girl booked. Whatever happens and however many people show up to your establishment is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, period. That is what's going to happen. It's like when Play doesn't have a Rue girl and they just have their playmates. That's your talent.
Yeah.
Whatever happens that night, you could have the most booked night you ever had.
Your garden is only going to grow as much as you tend to it.
Yeah. And so there's no excuse to not have Kings on Fridays and Saturday nights because you're scared it's going to drive your audience away.
Or to like appropriately pay your performers. Like, you know, you want it like the entertainment value and feeling like as either establishment owners or even just being like audience, like, oh, well, I've seen on TV these people have better costumes, or you have drag queens that have better costumes.
You know what?
If you're only willing to pay $25 a night for 4 numbers, how do you expect to be able to your entertainers to produce more costumes, better stuff, if you're not giving them the material to do so? Because I say this, and this is a big rule in drag that has been taught to us, hammered into our head, and really everyone should understand. Brooklyn is always going to come before Salem will. Salem Lestrange is this amazing, sexy, confident, alluring cryptid that came out of my creativity, my mind, and my art. Just as Jupitar came out of Jupitar, you know, over here. I'm not.
I'm different.
He over here. He changed his like name.
I'll tell you straight up. Like I am the same person in and out of drag because I said that this is my art and I don't care. Like I have no, like, obviously I respect my girlfriend more than anything. Like
that's right. You better.
I respect you more than anything. Like I know the difference between Salem and Brooklyn. I know who. When we go to sign our wedding vows and we go to sign our fucking marriage agreement,
y'all heard that this is being recorded live. He's making up. I will hold you to this shit.
Well, like, I know that she's gonna be signing it with Brooklyn, not signing it as Salem. Like I know who I'm getting married to. But when it comes for me in particular, like I chose to have my name as my actual name because what you see is exactly who I am.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's the same thing, but like the idea of like just Jupitar is not Jupitar Callahan who comes home from work at Jimmy John's and wants to sit in the recliner with the cats and watch Worst Cooks in America. That person, who we are when we are not on stage, has in any situation, who you are when you perform, you have to put them first. Like what you do with your art, like that's always going to be there, but you have to put you first.
Like when I come home, I don't always have a fucking bundle of rhinestones and some glue in my hands. Like I'm not breathing, eating, sleeping, doing drag. That's all I'm fucking doing. Like there's a lot of people that are like that, but like,
well, there are some people that just think
I can't.
Somebody, you know, a lot of people, they're all sitting there thinking the worst of the worst of the worst all the freaking time. And, you know, people's got to get out of their head. I'll tell you what got me out of my head, because I was real bad about doubting myself, especially with the show. I've had all kinds of shit go on, and there's been more than once that fuck it, I'm done, you know. But the next day, something always happens, and it's like, oh crap.
Something or somebody will always remind you of who you are.
Yeah.
I've been going through the same thing myself with my art because of like with play and just having that. It's good to push yourself to do more and to be better and always grow as much as you can. But it was like, I think it's just not even just play, but just the people I grew up around. It was just a constant push of you have to constantly be doing something new. You have to constantly be growing, and growth is not linear.
Oh, no.
Not anyone.
No.
Like the way that he's going to come up in drag and how he's going to improve is not at all the same way I would or anybody else would.
No,
We
you've
have
got to make your own path.
We have to stop comparing it. And so like I
Yeah.
myself have been in that rut lately of just like, God, I feel like I'm not good enough. But thankfully I have community here in, like in Bowling Green and Knoxville of people
Yeah.
that will humble me and be like, girl, like you inspire so many people and like you're doing good. You've got to grace yourself. And especially my most supporting, loving boyfriend, is the first one to grab my face and be like, Paradise, you have got to breathe. You don't give yourself enough grace for the fact that, Salem may not be pumping out brand new costumes and it's been a couple of months, but Brooklyn just bought a house.
Yeah.
Brooklyn just moved across the state. Brooklyn just got a new job. Like you have to
You
breathe.
got to.
Like we literally ran from like doing like I said, like we put so much into the pageants that we did because there was two of them.
Plural.
It was
Right
terrible.
before Pride Month, and that's like I said, the busiest month other than this one.
I was crowned Mr. Upper Cumberland.
May 27th.
I was crowned Mr. Upper Cumberland Pride May 27th of this year, and then we literally slammed right into Pride festivities. We did Nashville Pride.
That was
and
June
then-
11th that we did that pageant.
And then we rolled into July, which was just as hectic. And then August is my birthday month. And then so we rolled into that. And then our lease was up in September. And then we had to move, buy the house, get everything moved in, paint, move all the children, pay everything off, all this, that, the other. Like, we have not.
And then here we are in October, which is our second busiest month other than Pride Month. So yeah, we don't.
And I lassoed you in here with the help of Anna.
We are fine with it. This is so much less stressful than like, oh God, what song am I going to do? What am I going to dance? Oh my God, where are we going to be? What's the show like?
Yeah.
What is going on?
This doesn't feel like work. This feels like a nice, chill conversation to sit down and have with somebody, like a very nice mental break. Like,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Like we wanted a little bit of drag, which is totally fine. I can throw on a set of eyebrows. At least I'm not up there like, what number do I do? What am I going?
Yeah, I don't have to paint the eyeballs all over my face.
Cold because it's 67 degrees in here.
Right.
I don't know. I like the eyeballs on your face. That was a really cute look.
It's one of my favorite looks that she does.
It is so much fun, but holy shit, does that take a lot of time?
Oh,
The
yeah.
carpal tunnel. Like, honestly, I think that's why my wrist is bothering me so bad because I've not had to use it so much from doing
Yeah.
so much makeup all the time. And then moving on top of that, my joints are just like, please fucking stop. Go to a reflexology place. Go to Massage Envy, something, please.
Stop lifting boxes, please.
Please.
I'm glad, though, that you both got each other to support in your craft and everything else. And I'll tell you, the two biggest people, I would say, up there on top, I've had several people support me and several people tell me I'm doing great and everything else. But the two that support me the most and actually snap me out of my little bit of a funk was my daughter. And it was just a small little phrase she said that just like epiphany from hell. You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
You do you, boo-boo.
That sounds about right.
That's us. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
my thing is like, I always feel with him, like there is a part of me where it's like, well, you're my boyfriend. You're supposed to be nice to me. But it's like, no, he will hold me accountable in situations, even where like, I feel like I've done nothing, but this man will be like, you're being a bitch. Or
Yeah.
just like, hey, you need to chill. But like, I think that's my thing with Jupiter is like, we met back in 2016, September 29th, 2016. And like, he started drag shortly after. And we very quickly found that in our community that we had at the time, and even still, we were the only two that we felt were always completely honest with one another, whether we wanted to hear it or not.
We've both had really big mouths. We've both been really big personalities, and we're also two people that were trained to like call it as we see it.
Yeah.
If you're on your fuck shit, you're gonna get called out for it. Like
Yeah.
like that's not cool. You're not paying that person. That's not cool. You're not doing this during that show. That's not cool. You're doing this to somebody and not doing it for somebody else. That's not fucking cool.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even outside of that, like backstage, just doing open stage stuff. Like I was on cast, but still did open stage stuff, and he was doing open stage. It was just you even in the music industry, you can come across colleagues and acquaintances, and it's people you regularly work with, but it's very rare that you will find someone that you can form a genuine connection with outside of like the art aspect.
Exactly.
Of just like, oh, what can I benefit from this person? Or, oh, they bring alcohol backstage. This is fun. This is someone who like we called each other every day there was not a single day that we went without talking to each other. And if there was, we knew something was wrong. Like it'd be like, oh my God, I got this idea. And it was like, go for it. Absolutely. So we became best friends through it. And then someone apparently had feelings the whole time and it took them forever to actually tell me.
It was called a crush at the time.
5 whole years of it, apparently.
It was a deep crush.
I played the fifth.
But yeah, my son, he actually supports me in a lot of this stuff too, you know, and that's even, I don't care what you're doing, what craft you got, anything. I mean, it could be like a business venture, which, I mean, hell, if you're an artist, it's a business venture. You got to. But you got to have a support system.
Absolutely.
You got to. I got Anna telling me, you do you, boo-boo. And then I got Steven telling me, just get up there and fucking do it.
Yeah. That's exactly what we tell people.
I need to catchphrase those two
That's
things.
exactly, no, that's literally, that is exactly. So the you do you, boo-boo is usually what we tell people when we've tried to tell them the same shit over and over again and they won't listen. We're just like, all right, whatever, you do you, boo-boo. But to get up there and just fucking do it, that's literally like the number one thing that I have to anybody like,
oh, we want to do drag, but we don't know. It's like,
Yes.
just do it. I'm very much a firm believer. If you do it badly, the only way you get to go is up because you know what you didn't like. You know where you fucked up. The only thing you can do is improve upon it.
that is the number one fucking thing that I tell people when they're like, hey, how do you start drag? I'm like, you just do it.
Yeah.
You can sit here, you can prep, you can contemplate.
You will
can
never be ready till you
will
get up
never
there.
Be ready.
Well, I'm a good A cup right now. I mean,
Go for it. Go for it. That makes your life so much easier when it comes to costumes. That's what I think a lot of drag queens don't get either when it comes to like us girls that have like physical boobs. Like y'all don't have nothing. Y'all get to just wear flat chested stuff and not worry about it. I, on the other hand, have to worry about both of Victoria's secrets falling out.
If you nip slip, it's not just the middle couch cushion. It's literally a whole nipple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, like, definitely you do need the support system. I mean, I'm thankful I have supportive parents that are about it, but like genuinely, like, and I don't just say this to sound sappy, but like Jupiter's been it. Like before we were dating, when we were just friends, when we became best friends, if I ever had an idea, I knew I could call him. If I was ever upset about something happening in the community, I knew that he would always have my best interest at heart and my side, but also he would be the first one to tell me like, I don't know, I think you kind of fucked up on this end. Like, you know, he'll still tell me. And then even now, like, if I'm booked for a show and he's not, he's the one to drive me there. He helps me carry my stuff in. He asks if I need anything. He's the loudest one in the audience and he's the first one sitting there with his dollar in the air for me. And it's I know. I mean, and it's nice. I don't just say it to be sappy, but genuinely, it's so weird because if I had to go through all this again without him, I don't think I'd be doing it for as long as I have. I just genuinely, like, Jupiter has
Same
been.
thing goes for her.
He's been a foundation and a building block and all of it. He's the piece to my Jenga. If you took it out, my whole tower would fall down.
The same thing goes for her because I probably would have hit somebody by now.
That's very true.
and right
He's
about
wiped too many tears.
and right about now, there's all 10 of my listeners reaching for a Kleenex because that was the sweetest thing, and that is what everybody actually needs in their life.
I'm so glad to have him. I mean, I tell everyone all the time, like, we fight like cats and dogs, but it's because we know each other the best, so we know how to piss each other off the best. I'm like, ooh, I could just leave this alone.
We fight that,
but I also know what to say to really just get in there.
We fight that big because we love that big. Like,
We do.
That's but at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm totally seeing the scene from Simba and Nala.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pinja again.
We are that. We are Gomez and Morticia, but we are very much fucking Tom and Jerry if you've ever seen it.
You would have to be the mouse though, because I am very much taller than you.
I would 100% be.
Well, she's got longer claws too.
I do.
Tom also wins half the time. So.
That's really cute that you think that. That's really precious. You Wile E. Coyote at this point, and I'm the meep meep. That's me. That one's me. Yeah, no, I'm very thankful to have that support system, and I'm very thankful to be his because, like, I think I was in a relationship doing drag. I was in a 7-year relationship when I started drag, and I got out of that one 2 years ago. It was 7 years, and it was nice to have someone that like appreciated what I did, but it was so hard to go through the struggles that I went through, which I think is why we bonded so well and became best friends to begin with, is because you have to go through it to understand it. So when
Yeah.
I come home bitching and complaining about like, oh, this happened and it made me feel this way, like, you know, and it'd be like, no, but like, I'm here for you. And I'm like, you don't get it though. You don't fucking get it. Like, oh, this person is wearing the same type of clothes I am and doing the same music. And I know I don't own it, but like, God, this is
bitch
so
copied.
frustrating. I'm like, it's so frustrating. And beforehand to have someone be like, yeah, I can understand how that's frustrating. And that they could just be that very shallow, like, it's still like,
Yeah.
like, thank you for like hearing me. But also like, meanwhile, he's like, listen, bitch, you don't own anything, but I do understand how that can be frustrating as I have experienced it myself. And you deserve to be your authentic self without so much. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what you said.
Like, you're really frustrated on this end and you shouldn't be, but also it's very valid. But like, maybe don't do this part. Like, let's leave this part of the fucking rant out.
Right.
It's the way it goes. Man, I tell you what, I really appreciate y'all coming.
Of course.
Thank you for having
And,
it.
I really appreciate you having us.
I'm definitely gonna come to one of these shows.
Yeah.
The 13th.
Absolutely.
We're gonna write that down.
Yeah,
send you-
we will
we'll
write you
send
down
you a
all of our
list.
dates for this month.
Yeah, I want them
I mean,
all.
and y'all are pretty close to Bowling Green up here too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you closer to Bowling Green or Nashville?
45 minutes.
From both?
Yeah.
Well, we are regularly in Bowling Green,
Yeah.
but like Nashville is like, it's kind of a rare occasion this month that we're back down there since we stopped working at Play. But
Yeah, I'll probably go to
If
Bowling
y'all
Green.
like
Yeah.
bingo, we do bingo every Thursday.
we do bingo and then open
Bingo.
stage. We host an open stage up there in Bowling Green. So you can see
Awesome.
a bunch of people that are starting or maybe that don't have a home bar that they're on a cast at. And so they come to just show what they can there. It's a much more intimate venue than Play, but Play is going to definitely be the bigger stage and
Yeah.
sound qualities. Hell, come to both.
I might come to both
Shit, if y'all can drive out to Knoxville.
because I'd love it. And then when you start making it big, then you can build the
You'll be here before me.
Moulin Rouge for me.
I would love that. Honestly, I wish there was somebody that had the funds to put together something like a Lips that they have in Atlanta and the other places like out here. I would love to see that. I wish that there was a venue that really did in Nashville that really focused on being inclusive and having a diverse cast and actually mean it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to see kings, queens, people of color, you know, of all different ages and types of aesthetics to be able to bring something different to the table. Like, drag is very much Thanksgiving dinner, and it gets really boring if you just have, you know, mashed potatoes the whole time.
Yeah, I gotta have cranberry sauce and a little bit of turkey and
Am I wrong?
pineapple upside down cake. You know.
Should I said that? Now I'm hungry. Fat kid at heart, always.
All right, y'all. You can look in that camera right there and you can tell people where they can find you on your socials.
You go first, honey.
You can find me on Instagram at hey.little.hollywood. You can find me on Facebook at Jupiter Fleming. I almost said Callahan. That's not right. You can find me on TikTok at Jupiter Callahan. That one's right. I think that's it. I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Okay, mine are pretty easy. My TikTok and Instagram are both at gothbitchjuice, all one word. My Facebook is my drag name, Salem Lestrange. That's L-E Strange, not L-A Strange. I'm not going to plug the spicy site on there, but if you, find it
in the link
you
tree.
can find it in the link tree on any of those on the spicy site. But
That's
yeah,
the Cash App, Venmo, both in Linktree.
yeah, Cash App and Venmo and the link tree. And then as far as shows go, we usually are pretty good about posting that on our socials. But the next few places you can catch us are going to be, we'll be at Knoxville Pride on October 7th as well in Bowling Green
That'll
for
be
our
both of
American
us.
Horror Story show, which I guess this is going to air after that.
That is going to be an American.
American Horror Story.
No shit.
I'm going to be the Countess. I'm going to be Misty Day.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
fuck. We
Elsa
going.
Mars.
We going.
I'm trying to,
We going. I got to see
I'm
that.
trying to do Tate, Dandy, and Michael from the 8th season.
But I
Awesome.
think you said this was airing on the 16th, so where they can catch us after is Jupiter will be at Play Nashville on Wednesday the 18th. I will be there on Wednesday the 25th. And then every single Thursday and usually just about every Saturday, you can catch us at Landon's Sugar Shack in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Every Saturday except the second Saturday.
Except for the
Awesome.
second Saturday. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. We're going to go see a drag show.
Do it.
It's going to be cool.
You're going to have a great time.
That's what I want. I want to see the performance. I want to see the art.
And that's the thing, at least with Bowling Green where we are, we try to make it a really intimate experience. We try to connect with everyone, whether it be through performance or when we get to MC, because it's like, I hate going to a bar and you have the same intro and you have the same spiel that they say on the microphone every fucking time. Like, it's different. You got to appeal to a different audience.
You got to read the room.
Yes, Rita Room is also our co-host in Bowling Green. That is her name, along with Serenity Suites. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for being here. This has been a blast.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to say my closing arguments. Like, share, follow, subscribe. It helps us all. Everybody that does any kind of art, music, expressing themselves, help us all out, because people, the booking agents, are looking at the numbers. They're looking at how many subscribers you have, how many followers, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to get out of here. Peace, love, and everybody, keep it real. Bye, y'all.
Bye.